Back. We are coming to you live from Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology, talking climate change, the consequences, and at the level of the Lake Region economic bloc here. The governors from the counties of Kakamega, Fernandes, Barasa, and his counterpart from Vihiga, Wilbao Tichilo, are with me on the bench, coming to you from the university here in Kakamega County. In their company is Professor Solomon Shibairo, the Vice Chancellor of this institution. Dr. Caroline Mulinya is a senior lecturer at Kaimos France University, and Alex Legare is the Chief Executive Officer of Mzuri Organics, also making a part of the panel this evening here in Kakamega County. Alex, I was on you, and ideally talking about then organics and spaces that are shrinking. How then is climate-smart agriculture feasible, given the speed of urbanization and the constant movements of people from the rural areas to urban centers?
Thank you for that good question. True, spaces are shrinking very fast, and it's time that we adopted to new methods of producing food from very small spaces very efficiently, in a way that we can produce large quantities of food within small spaces. For example, we know for sure that there's a problem with our soil health, and it is due to overuse of chemicals. We are killing the soil slowly but surely. And with time, what happens is that when you farm on a parcel of land, say 1 acre, starting from a parcel that used to be, say, forest land, you will start with very high yields, close to 40 bags an acre, and within a short, say, 10 years or so, you are going as low as 4-6 bags from an acre. And sometimes it's not even about the spaces having shrunk, but it's about also the soils having been degraded beyond levels that they could produce for us sufficient food. Either way, we still think that it is possible for us to produce quite a good chunk of food using climate-smart technologies, like, for example, we have the hydroponic systems, we have the tower gardens that you can put on your balconies and produce food without ever needing to go to the market. And for farmers, for example, who are doing poultry farming, pig farming, fish farming, they can produce a very high quality protein using very small spaces, breeding insects, a technology that requires probably 1/10 of the space you would need to produce same quantities of soya, for example. Yeah, so these technologies are there, and it's just about us embracing them and utilizing them as the need arises, because the need has arisen already.
Okay. Governor Tijol, yes, Prof. I'll come
I want to contribute to that. In terms of climate-smart agriculture, this university is doing a lot towards it. For example, right now we are partnering with the Kari to produce a high-protein, high-yield Napier grass. And that can be used by farmers for zero grazing. So we don't have to have our cows jogging all over. They do zero grazing and they produce very high level of milk. Then apart from that, we're also diversifying livelihoods for farmers. For example, this county never used to produce coffee, but we have engaged in it, and the university is producing high-level seedlings for that. Then we are producing seedlings for mango, as well as avocado, and we also, in terms of dairy, we are also motivating our farmers to go full blast, zero grazing, instead of the traditional ones. In fact, we have improved on our cattle breeds such that we are no longer depending on the traditional ones, which used to produce very little milk, but then now they produce a high level of milk. We are also working on short maturing varieties of sugarcane, so that sugarcane does not spend 2 years in the field before you get it. We want our aim is to produce sugarcane that produces, that matures in 8 months, just like they do in Sudan and the like. So there are many efforts going on.
Yes, briefly, Governor, before we go to the...
Just allow me also to add that as counties, we have realized that going forward in agricultural production, we should focus mainly on natural production, natural food production systems. And as counties, we have set up, putting up policies on agroecology policies. Muranga is one of the first counties that has put up an agroecology policy. Vihiga has also put up an agroecology policy. And this policy aims to bring back agricultural production in a more ecological system, in a near natural system, where we produce, like, for example, organic fertilizer through organic materials. We are bringing in new technologies like using a black soldier fly to be able to have the decomposition of the organic materials quickly, and therefore you end up with the organic fertilizer. So we are moving away from, use of high inorganic fertilizers to using organic fertilizer through agroecological processes.
Yeah. Okay. So let's again get back to our live audience. So I haven't taken any questions from this side. Yes, the gentleman, your hand is up. And then I'll take the lady here. I have to be gender sensitive, or otherwise the lady here, and then to the gentleman. Yeah. You had your hand was up initially. Yes. So yes, please.
Okay, my question goes to the governor of Kakamega. Okay, Governor, Kakamega is highly agricultural. What concrete county-level policies are in place to ensure that farmers adopt climate-smart agriculture to caution against unpredictable weather patterns?
Okay, how can farmers adopt climate-smart agriculture? Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, here the mic. Yes, please, to the lady at the up front. You can pass it on here. Yes, here.
Yeah, thank you. My question goes to Dr. Caroline Mulinya. You mentioned that the interventions that the government is putting in is not adequate to match the speed of climate effects and impact. Now, I don't know whether this was in the manner of the projects that have been implemented or it's in the manner of the budget allocated. If it's the projects that are being implemented, then you could suggest to this audience, other than the measures that the governors have suggested that they are doing, you could suggest other measures that the county governments can implement to match the speed of climatic disintegration. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, you can just pass the mic behind you. The lady in the, yes, yes, please, you, yeah.
Thank you very much. My name is Mary Wainaina, a student leader at MOST. My question goes to Governor Fernandez. From what the VC has said, we have actually done a lot as a school. We have invested in research and agriculture. Are there any measures in place for you to collaborate with the school in those matters, and what plans do you have on that?
Okay. To the gentleman here, yes. Yes?
Yes,
okay,
thank you. My name is Peter Ochungo, a media practitioner and also a journalism student at Masinde Muliro, the University of Choice. My question goes to Governor Otichilo, who have also said that is the chair of the Climate Change Committee in the Council of Governors. You have heard where the professor have said that Kakamega Crying Stone is no longer crying, maybe because the level of water has gone down. And Dr. Carolina has also mentioned that burning fuel is the main challenge to the climate change. What kind of policies and remedies do you put in place? Because also you recognize the Kenya Climate Act of 2016 and a strategy response that also deals with the climate change. So what kind of remedies and policies do you put in place so that at least to combat the challenges?
Thank you. It's noted. Yes, the gentleman at the back. Yeah, your hand is up in the cap. Yeah, I'll come to you for the final question. You just have the microphone. There's the microphone. Yeah, please. Yeah, so you can finish the question.
Thank you. My name is Temesi Godfrey from Rural Integrated Program, NGO in Kakamega. I have a question to my able governor, Governor Fernandez Baraza. What are some of the strategies that have been put in place when it comes to safeguarding the NGOs that are championing for climate change? Thank you.
Thank you. The final question, yes.
Yeah, my name is Dr. Lisuza Fred from Masinde Muliro University. My question goes to Dr. Mulinya. First, I'm happy with the work you are doing in conjunction with the county government of Vihiga. But as in academia, we've always been accused of doing so much research that ends up on the library shelves and in journals. What mechanisms have you put in place to ensure that the data you are collecting is accessible to policymakers and the general public that needs to use it so that it is used for climate action? Okay. Thank you.
So, Dr. Caroline, I begin with you. You had two questions.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll begin with the first one. I'll begin with the first question where I was told that I thinking the interventions are not matching to mitigate against climate change. I want to say, to a larger extent, that is true. But again, we might be having the interventions, the projects, but how well are these projects implemented? How well are they done? You know, I think Governor Otichulo talked about financing. The elephant in the room is climate financing. You might have very good ideas, but if you cannot be able to finance, then you might not be able to do it. And I think we are really even talking, like currently we are talking about planting trees and so on and so forth. But how well can we measure that this is going to actualize? What is the success rate? We might talk about the clean GCOs. Do you have the finances? You know, the projects are there, but the finances might be inadequate. And I think that is what is lacking. And I think we need to put in also local solutions so that we can be able to mitigate on our own. And I think this is already happening because this FLOCA project involves people on their own. If people can be able to tell you what their needs are, then it will be very good for them to even own the project, and it can be a success. Most of the projects can be successful. But if people are not put on board, then sometimes you put projects in places and they are not successful because people are not involved. But I'm happy to note that the FLOCA project is really working. Nowadays, you don't just go to people and impose projects to them. It is them. Projects come from them. And they're able to tell you, we need a bridge, we need a water pan, and so on and so forth. So, Madam Penina, I think the interventions are there, but the elephant in the house is the financing. If we can be able to get the financing, then I think we'll be good to go. On the issue of research and it ending in the libraries, that has been said on many occasions to us scholars, but I want to emphasize that this center that was established at Kaimosi Friends University is unique in its own way because we are looking at action research. We are doing research that at the end of the day we are producing. If you listen to me keenly, I said one of the objectives is to be able to even develop simple gadgets. You know, we will get people doing researches and they're telling us, we can solarize this, we can be able to do this, and then we will put it into action. We'll be doing actionable research and really probably producing products or innovations that will work. So I want to believe if all the institutions, the learning institutions, if we went this way and we are focusing on research that is action oriented that will produce products and innovations, then we'll be good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll come to you, Prof. and Alex. Allow me, the governors, to also respond. Governor Oticho, you had a question.
Which one?
The gentleman who had inquired. Yes, there was.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I think he raised the issue of what strategies do we have to ensure that the national climate change strategy and other policies and legislation, we work together at the county level. I want to inform the audience that, yes, as Council of Governors, we don't work in isolation. We work with the national government, particularly Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources, and specifically NEMA, who have the mandate to deal with climate change issues. So through our consultation between the council and the government, we are able to look at various legislations and policies that are in place, and where there is a need for amendment, we work together. For example, the Climate Change Act of 2016, which was the first act in Africa in terms of climate change. Through time, we have been able to sit with the national government to amend it in 2023 to bring in new aspects of carbon markets, because in the earlier act, there were no carbon markets. So we have been able now to bring in carbon markets, where now we can use carbon markets as one of the options to raise funds through, for example, a reforestation program or RED Plus programs. So that is how we link up with government to ensure that we work in sync and we are not working at crossroads.
Yes, Governor Barasa, I'll come to you, Prof.
Yeah, allow me to respond to three questions. Number one of the members asked about the strategies we are putting in place to ensure that we fast-track the climate-smart agriculture because of unpredictable weather. Yeah. One of the issues which Governor Oticho alluded earlier is to ensure that we encourage our farmers to plant early maturing crops, and this can be done through research, and also Prof mentioned about it. We can do research so that we have early maturing sugarcane. Instead of 18 months, we have sugarcane that is maturing within 8 months. We also are encouraging our farmers to invest in water harvesting facilities, because we largely depend on rain-fed agriculture. And then if we don't invest in water harvesting programs, then we start suffering. And yet we had an opportunity. So investment in water harvesting facilities is important. And also encouraging farmers to invest in smart agriculture value chains, the drought-resistant crops. For example, the millets and stuff like that, which will definitely be resilient, because one of the objectives for smart agriculture adaptation is to encourage farmers to come up with programs which will promote resilience. Mm-hmm. Now, I know the university, we have an MOU that we signed. I think one of these fine days, maybe we need to publicize the MOU on areas of research in terms of environment. We also have an MOU that we signed for purposes of collaboration in health. So that MOU, my dear sister, is there. The only thing is maybe you have not come out very strongly so that we can talk about it, because there's a lot of collaboration that we can have with the university through the structured MOU. Then lastly, the NGOs that have invested a lot in climate change mitigation. What are we doing to encourage them? Number one is to create a conducive environment for them to invest here through tax waivers. That is important. Also, we have invested a lot in the infrastructure. You know, when these NGOs come here and the infrastructure and transport is not good enough, they will not be encouraged to invest. And then number three, most of these NGOs, especially the ones that are concerned with the conservation of Kakamega forests, they give us money. So the most effective way of encouraging them to invest more is to have efficient utilization of those resources, integrity in the procurement process, so that the outcomes that were intended are really achieved. So those are some of the strategies that we have put in place just to encourage the NGOs in investing in climate smart.
Yes, Prof. And then Alex, before we take the final round of questions.
Thank you again. I just wanted to contribute one thing that maybe we are forgetting. There's one major program which is done by the national government, started by Kenya Kwanza government, affordable housing. As much as we are talking, it's giving jobs for people. But from where I stand, it's going to cause a big impact. Remember we mentioned that 2 decades ago, we had this forest covering about 1,000 kilometers squared, but now it's 238. This is because people are just engaged in acquiring more land and going to destroy more forests. But if you have affordable housing, we shall have designated places whereby our coming generation is going to stay, and therefore there will be no pressure on land. So that's one big thing, but it has to be accompanied by mind change. Let us teach our children to stay in those houses. We will spare our land. So it goes with issues to do with culture and the way of doing things. So then to add on what you had asked about research, does it stay on the shelf and all that? No. Nowadays we encourage that whenever you do any research, you must involve the community. You answer their problems, and then as you do it, you are doing with them. So the results come automatically to those people. So the research does not have to stay on the shelves. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, Alan.
Well, just to also contribute to the aspect of research, I like using practical examples. I'm a student at University of Eldoret doing a master's in agronomy. And a recent encounter at the university, I was told that the university finances the research of an undergraduate, but it doesn't finance the research of a postgraduate student. You see, for me, that doesn't make sense, for example, because that postgraduate student is the guy who actually probably has gone out there and seen an actual problem, an actual challenge, and has developed a solution, and would benefit the country, if not the world, more than the undergraduate student who is still discovering themselves. Yeah, so it's something that probably the university should also consider in future, to actually consider funding research of postgraduate students more than the undergraduate students. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So the final round of questions, I'll take 5. The row after Edwin, yes, the gentleman in the suit. First you, yes, you. Yes, you have the microphone? Yes, please, yeah. In the tireless shirt. Yes, please. So the microphone is coming. So, and then to you.
Okay, thank you.
And then the back, I need, where is the lady? Yes, please, proceed first.
Thank you. I'm Brian Ambaso Asahulu, a student from Kaimosi Friends University. Also being a resident of this county, I would like to pose this question to my Governor Fernandez. I've heard of you talking about 3% from the budget, then also the local level planning committee. I would also like to ask you to tell me what opportunities are available for the youth and women to participate in the green economy initiatives in this county.
Yes, pass over the lady to the mic to the lady here. Yes, yes. I'll come to you. 3, that lady 4, and then 5 specs at the back.
My name is Teresia Njeri. from University of Friends Kaimosi. I would like to ask Dr. Mulinya, is it possible for institutions maybe to use other local means, because addressing issue of creating awareness that has become somehow difficult? Can they use other local means?
Yes, you have the microphone? Yes, the microphone will be coming shortly. Then where's the lady?
Okay, thank you. I'm Dr. Richard Boyo, the Chief Officer in charge of Environment, Vihiga County. My question is the fact that Vihiga County and Kakamega County have taken a bold step. Yes. Okay. They have taken a bold step towards our protection of our common ecosystem, and that is Kakamega, which the extension of Kakamega into Vihiga is called Kibiri Forest. So my question goes to VC and Dr. Mulinya. How can then the university leverage on this common ecosystem to enhance research towards climate action?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Prof will respond to that because Dr. Caroline has a question. The lady, please, just you can pass it at the back.
Okay, thank you. I'm Aquila.
Two ladies, because you have been hijacked. Just the mic will come. Yes, please.
I'm Aquila from Vihiga County. My question goes to Alan. I've noticed you're doing a lot in BSF and organic manure. So how are you working together with the counties to make sure we upscale your initiatives as a wealth creator within the climate action space? Because you realize most youths do not understand the benefits that come with creating wealth from climate actions. Thank you.
Yeah, so you can pass the mic at the back. Yes, the lady, and then the gentleman in the specs. Yes, the mic will be coming shortly.
My name is Jerusha Aworo-Otieno. I work with the county government of Kakamega. Thank you, Governor Baraza, for giving me that opportunity. My question goes to Mr. Alex. I'd like to know how the government and other stakeholders are handling carbon credits.
Thank you. Very brief question, and then the final question to the final gentleman. Yes, yeah. His hand has been up for a very long time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. My name is Arpro Bernard, a student at MOST, representing international students. I have two questions. The first question goes to my brother, Ayub. As a journalist, how do you ensure the stories concerning the climate change are not just headlines for the news only, but are catalysts for action? The second question goes to my governor. With your permission, please allow me ask you a question. The governor of Vihiga, him being a governor who is also at the council of the Climate Change Committee, allow me flashback a little bit. When I was in primary, the nylon papers were banned. The reason being it was kind of bringing also a climate change, like destroying the soil, because it was not easy to decompose, because it was made of fuel, you know. But if you go to, even in this county of ours, even your county, you will find that if you want to buy maybe sukuma wiki or even a kind of meat kidogo, upige, you know, you will be sold it using that nylon. So as a member of the committee, how would you align with the national government in making sure that the nylon papers has been banned completely so that we can save? You know, we cannot be talking the climate change and things are still not going well on the ground. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So we start from that side, a final round of comments, and then we come this way until I also have to respond to his question. Yes, please.
Okay, I'll start with the first question. How we are working with county governments and probably other institutions to scale up the smart technologies, particularly in insect farming. I would say that currently we as Mtsuri Organics are in partnership with the GIZ, a program called Youth Agri-Jobs for Youth, particularly a sub-program called Bizingira, where we are working with youths in Vihiga, in Kakamega, in Siaya, Kisumu, and Bungoma to enhance particularly their skills in circularity. We are helping them not just acquire skills on how to keep insects, to rear insects and worms, the red worms in particular, utilizing the waste that they generate from their own backyards and in the neighboring markets, but also with the partnership of the GIZ, they have helped them actually build businesses from scratch, sustainable businesses at that, trained them, equipped them, and the businesses are now running. 5 businesses currently, something that has happened within a very short time. Something else to do with carbon credits. I would love that question,
yes.
How government is handling that.
Yeah. Governor Oticho will respond to that. We'll explain further on the carbon credits. Yes, Dr. Caroline.
Thank you. I was asked a question on how we can do it locally, and I think we are moving citizen science, whereby we involve everybody to be able to tell us what is happening. You know, the moment we have the citizen science, and any person can be able to say, this is happening. If she's walking or he's walking and notices something, then it will be very good for us, because now everybody will be involved. And the moment everybody is involved, then we can be able to get what we want. We'll get the information. Because that question, once we have the local information, once we can get this information from everybody else, then we'll be good to go. On the question of what the universities are doing, I think, as I've already indicated, we are a place for researchers and knowledge. I want to believe we should invest in learning or doing researches, because we want to have these forests and probably fast maturing. So I think with our scientists, we can be able to invest in researches like different species, which are these species that can probably mature much faster. In that case, we will have our forests mature much faster, and we will have an area that was once deforested, afforested in a shorter time. I'll leave it to Professor to complete it.
Thank you very much. You said we are in the same ecosystem. Actually, maybe even the 4 counties, starting from all the way Trans Nzoia. Yeah. This is where the forest was, to all the way in Kaimosi. It is the same climate, same people, same foods. Now we can leverage on this. We can share same research. For example, Kaimosi Friends University, they are our babies. And they are mentioned about having a center of excellence. We also have the same machines around here. For example, some ICT machines which form part of the weather station. It helps us share information amongst ourselves very easily. And then we have the same researchers who are close to one another. So when they are looking for money, they collaborate and work together as a team. We have had several successes in some areas, like I mentioned, napier grass. They have indulged in some traditional crops that used to be there and maintain soil levels. For example, sorghum, millet, cassava. That has been happening. You mentioned about the idea about the postgraduate training. We already are doing around. For example, I mentioned that we are the only university in this country which started a PhD in this line and disaster management, and even up to now. So there's a lot of research going on in this area. Yeah.
Yes, Governor Oticho.
Thank you. One of the key problems that we are facing is in waste management, and waste has is a problem, but waste is also a resource. So one of the areas where we are trying to work together with the local communities in the promotion of agroecology is to create awareness and train the local farmers on how to convert waste into compost and then be able to use it as part of the fertilizer. Also, the issue of soil management is an issue that we are incorporating in the agroecological processes so that we are able to bring this to the local people. because this is what used to happen before. But over years, people have forgotten, and they now see waste as a problem. So it's one of the initiatives that we are working together, and this initiative we are working together with the NEMA and all other interested parties to bring this new way of doing things together. So in some of the areas, like for example markets, we are trying now to come up with recovery areas where wastes are recovered and they are used, if they are organic, they are used for organic fertilizer, and if they are non-organic, they are used for recycling. So that's one of the areas that is very crucial in this agroecology policy. We have identified model farmers, for example in Vihiga, where we are trying to demonstrate how to go do agriculture, first of all, for example, zero tillage, conservation agriculture, where you use very, very little water. So that's what is being done, but it's a process that we have to reverse back the equation. Now, I want to comment a little on carbon credits. I think carbon credits, as I said, we have now revised, amended the Climate Change Act, where now we are putting the possibility to be able to participate in carbon markets worldwide. And carbon markets basically are markets where we are able to absorb. For example, if we are doing reforestation program, as you plant your trees, you will be able to register that your trees will be able to participate in the markets. As they grow, they are absorbing carbon dioxide, and that carbon dioxide is worked out in terms of tonnage. And at the world market, at each tonnage, you can sell it to the counties or the companies that are still polluting, and they cannot stop doing what they are doing, but they want you to sell their carbon dioxide to you as you absorb it. So that's what is happening, but the program is still underway, and before the end of the year, the whole program will be rolled out.
Yes, Governor Barasa.
Yeah, I just want also to mention about the establishment of material recovery centers, which we have done here in Kakamega. We have also established an organic fertilizer plant. Very soon we will be supplying fertilizer in the entire Lake Region Economic Block.
We will not have chances of stones being sold to farmers.
Of course, we'll encourage now the organic fertilizer because it's part of the smart agriculture strategies. Now, opportunities are available to youth and women with the 3%. You know, this 3% has become very controversial. Number one, we are encouraging our youth and women to invest in tree nurseries. So far, we have established 11 indigenous tree nurseries because we are very specific on conserving our Kakamega forest. So there's an opportunity in the tree nurseries. We are also having specific opportunities in adopting the forest. You can adopt a few acres to grow trees. We'll provide the seedlings for you so that you can actually grow trees in the forest. Okay. That is an opportunity. We also have a procurement opportunity of renovation and rehabilitation of water springs. We are hoping that we shall have sorted out the e-government procurement system so that we can onboard more youth and women in the rehabilitation of water springs. Those are opportunities which are available. And then, of course, research, as it were, is a big thing. Mm-hmm. I know we've talked a lot about the environmental degradation because of fossil fuels. Now we want to invest in e-mobility. That is a very big conversation in research. And one of the expected outcomes of this conference that we are having in 2 weeks is to see how we can come up with strategies and transitioning to e-mobility and, of course, the carbon credits. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I respond to the question, there was a viewer by the name Okero Mwalimu who said, can the governors encourage employees of the county to drive electric vehicles? Is it a plan that can be implemented, a proposal that can be taken up?
Yeah, that's why we're actually encouraging that e-mobility. The only issue is to have specific and intentional investment in the same, in the budget. It's one of the strategies which we are very committed. And I know in the next financial year, if we get FLOCA phase 2, and I'm sure Governor Tichilo is working on it, those are some of the opportunities that we will want to encourage e-mobility.
Yes, briefly.
Actually, that is the way, that's where we are going, because we need to adopt electric vehicles, and that will really reduce in terms of our carbon footprint. Yeah. And given that, just I read in the papers that there is going to be a major factory constructed in Naivasha just for assembling electric vehicles. So as counties, we will promote the use of electrical vehicles so that we can minimize the emission of greenhouses into the atmosphere.
Thank you so much.
In the meantime, we encourage staff also to ride bicycles.
Thank you. To the gentleman, so to respond to your question as a professional practitioner, we just had 1 hour 30 minutes of a debate to discuss the consequences of climate change at the Lake Region Economic Bloc. And this has granted us the opportunity to hear from experts, including an enthusiast like Governor Tichilo, also Governor Barasa, who has expressly submitted here the 3% he has budgeted for climate action, as well as the senior lecturer and Professor Solomon, our host here, alongside Alan. Besides that, the Royal Media Service, the Citizen TV, this TV station, on every Sunday has a segment called Citizen Planet that covers also stories on climate, which is why we had given it the priority and the much needed attention and airtime for that to be conveyed to the masses, the public, you, me, and them. And I think that fairly then responds to your question. Thank you. Governor Fernandez Barasa, many thanks for your time. Appreciated. Governor Wilbur Tichilo, much appreciated. Many thanks. Professor Solomon Shibairo, much appreciated. The Vice Chancellor. Dr. Caroline Mulinya, the senior lecturer from the university that is the Skymuza Friends University. Many thanks for your time. Alan Ligare, thanks for your time. The CEO of Missouri Organics. Many thanks for your time. And thanks to you too for being with us here on the broadcast for this very important topic that will take an international dimension when the world will head in November to Brazil for the COP30 United Nations Climate Conference, where the Amazon is the lungs of the world and where the world breathes in South America. In the context of the South, where Kenya is included, the consequences of drought, wildfires, and conflict as a result of climate change has been evident, and pay up or we perish altogether has been the mantra in Glasgow, in Sharm el-Sheikh, and in Baku in Azerbaijan. A message that's likely going to be taken to Brazil this year as the big polluters again, one more time, will come up with more likely purely inspirational mechanisms, but no commitment and failure to meet pledges during the conference in Brazil in November by the grace of God. Many thanks for making time for this broadcast. The bench was coming to you live from Masinde Muliro University in the county of Kakamega. And we'll see you next week at the same time on JKL Live. Till then, good night.